Hey everybody, it's Camaro with Speedtech Performance, and today I'm coming to you from a little bit different area. I'm sitting inside the 69 Camaro. Now, this car is an SS 350 car with a 3-speed automatic. Now, a lot of people come to us and say, oh, I restored my car 25, 30 years ago. You know, I wish I would have done this back then. Well, this project is to show you that even though you've restored your car a couple decades ago like this one, you can easily put our suspension under it. And in fact, we're going to go and put our full frame under this car without even messing with the paint. So we are heading to our shop. Like I said, we just picked up this car from the customer. I'm about to pull into our shop where it's going to get a complete frame off restoration underneath the car. But everything that you see is not going to change. It might end up with an LS instead of a 350, but we'll see what happens. All right, so we are here in the shop with the 69 Camaro, and the first thing that we have to do is get it over to Jeremy, and he's going to tear everything out, starting with the interior, engine, the factory subframe and suspension. All that's going to be gone, so we're going to basically be left with the shell, and then he's going to get to work cutting it apart. So as you can see behind me, Jeremy went ahead and tore the whole car apart, so it's down to essentially a bare shell. All the interior stripped out, obviously the front clips all gone. So a couple steps that we went ahead and did to protect what's there, because again, we're keeping all the glass in it, the headliners in there, all that got covered, and then we just did a simple tape job on the rocker where the paint is, just to ensure that no damage happens there. Now that everything's covered up, the next step is go ahead and clear off the places where the cuts are going to be, so that way it exposes the spot welds and everything there. And on the firewall, your first initial cut is just going to be an estimated cut, and then you're going to come back in with the precise line, and all that is outlined in the instructions on where you cut to separate those two panels. And you're going to want to go ahead and clean off also on the inner rocker, and that first cut also is going to be just a first initial cut. The more precise one's going to come in later, so let's go ahead and get that part rolling. So with the first initial cut on the firewall, it's actually going to be done from the inside, which seems a little bit opposite of what you're thinking, but you'll go ahead and go right under the cowl, and that's where your first cut's going to be. And with the first initial cut on the rocker, you're just going to come right here, essentially where this floor meets the rocker, and cut that out, meet it up with the firewall. And then there's the two different panels here where the back floor section meets the front floor, and your first cut's going to be this initial area, and go ahead and drop that out. So as you can see here, the firewall and the first section of the floor and tunnel have dropped out. Now with this, you are going to be removing quite a bit more than what you're seeing. So these first initial cuts don't have to be precise. Just get this stuff out of here. So after you do that initial cut side to side in the trunk, a couple things that you're going to have to do is remove these braces here from the package tray. Now these ones we went ahead and just cut off. If you're going to be reusing them, you're going to want to drill out the factory spot welds. That way you can install them when you're all done. And then the cuts from the floor up, go ahead and just follow this seam line again on the inside of the factory wheel well, and follow that all the way across till you meet up with your first trunk line. One thing that I do want to point out here is when you're doing your trunk cut, you are going to be cutting through the factory frame rail right here, and in a later step you're actually going to be removing more of that, and I'll give you the measurements when we get to that point. The first initial cuts have been done, and so we've just got a big hole here. Now I want to go ahead and point out a few things when it comes to cutting out the rockers and the wheel tubs. So let's start here at the front. So here at the front, you're going to go ahead and cut out the pinch welds right here, moving down this flange here. Now it's important that you're going to keep the outer part of the rocker intact, so you need this flange here. So drill this out. And on our car here, at one point the floor had been replaced, and so we're going to have to grind some of this out, because again, it's important that on the lower part of the rocker you keep that outer flange there, because it's used at later steps to actually attach the new Speedtech rockers to it. So we're going to have to grind this off, and on your car you may have to do something like that. In a perfect world, you just drill these spot welds out as well, but it's not always perfect when you're dealing with 50 or 60-year-old cars. So moving to the back here, We're also going to remove the wheel tub and go ahead and just do the whole thing, remove it, because we are going to be adding bigger wheel tubs at a later step as well. So the chassis is all welded in and we've started to mock up the floor. The car itself actually took off on our semi and it's going to be on tour all summer. So go ahead and stop by any of the shows that we list below to check out the car in person. It's going to come back here. We're going to finish the floor and everything and get it out the door with the new engine and all of that. But as you can see here, we've got plenty of other projects to keep us busy. So you're going to want to subscribe again to our YouTube and make sure you're notified when we have new videos. That way you can see what's going on here, because this Chevelle right here next to us, just a sneak peek, we're talking like 1500 horsepower engine. It's going to be really cool. You don't want to miss it.